Paul Felder. 13 of his 14 UFC fights have come at lightweight, and he joins us now. All right, Paul, Ferguson riding this 12-fight win streak coming in, but Gaethje would really like to pull an upset, and you think he will pull an upset Saturday. Why?
Man, it's just everything about this guy is action-packed. The highlight fits him, so well. You couldn't have picked a better nickname for this kid. He moves forward. He attacks the body like you heard him say in his quote earlier, that he's going to touch the body and then try to touch that chin. And I think he's just got a special kind of power in both of his hands. Whether he's coming with the right, the left hook, he goes to the body, and more importantly, he attacks the legs so well. He mixes it up, and what people forget about him is that he's a world-class wrestler on top of that. And Tony Ferguson's best chance, as usual, is to get it to the ground, look for submissions. On the feet, I think he's going to be hit too much by Justin Gaethje.
You know, you take a look at the fight in terms of style, and that's why everyone thinks there's going to be a lot of action here, Paul. But one thing about Gaethje, yeah, he puts out a lot of punishment, but he takes more punishment than anybody else in UFC when you consider strikes absorbed per minute. How can he do that same thing against a guy who's won 12 straight fights and has some of the biggest hands in UFC?
Well, that's why this sport is so great, right? We don't know. We can talk about this all day, but this is one of those fights where these are truly two of the best guys in this division. This is the division that I still compete in, and these guys are the top. They're the best. Tony Ferguson is going to light him up with elbows. I really do think that Justin is going to be bleeding. He's going to be cut just like every other opponent that Tony has ever been in there with. But I just think he's got the power. We've seen Tony hurt. We've seen him get hit before. And listen, I won't be surprised if it goes the other way, but we're paid to sit here and talk about making predictions, picking who we think is going to win. If I had to put my money on the line, the way Justin Gaethje hits, the power that he has, the wrestling in his back pocket, and just his tenacity, man, his guts and his you-know-whats to move forward and take punishment, he's just a special breed. I respect that guy a lot. These are two guys that I think, no matter who wins, I mean, we're going to see violence on that television for sure. So the fans that have been waiting for the UFC and live sports to come back, you couldn't ask for a better matchup than these two guys to headline.
And if Ferguson wins, he will have the longest active win streak in the UFC right now with 13 in a row. While I have you, though, Paul, let's talk about the co-main event. Henry Cejudo looks to defend his new bantamweight title against Dominick Cruz, widely hailed as the best fighter ever at 135. But he hasn't fought in 3.5 years, even longer since he actually won in the octagon. What do you make of this matchup?
Well, it's so funny because of all the people that don't believe in cage rust or ring rust or whatever you want to call it, Dominick Cruz is that guy. And thank God he doesn't believe in it, because he's had to put that to the test several times, right? He's had huge layoffs in his career. But every time that we see him go away from the octagon, have an injury, deal with it, he comes back stronger. He comes back and lights somebody up or beats somebody that he shouldn't beat. He comes back, he beats TJ Dillashaw. He comes back, he beats the Japanese fighter that he was in there with and just beat the crap out of him. So every time we count this guy out and we say, oh, he shouldn't be a contender, we shouldn't be giving him title shots, why is he skipping the line? He comes in and he proves that he is the best bantamweight in UFC history. And I do believe that he's going to get it done on Saturday night.
Of course, Cejudo says he wants Jose Aldo next if he beats, or according to him, when he beats Dominick Cruz. Again, UFC 249 Saturday night, ESPN Plus pay-per-view. Paul Felder, man, appreciate the time.